So what would it be like if you were able to move around the guitar neck with complete freedom? Well, I'm about to give you 5 strategies to enable that. So let's get straight into the solo we'll be using for this video, and as you watch, just notice how this is all pretty basic pentatonic stuff, but I'm able to move around the fretboard with complete ease. Now, the final lick is pretty killer, so you'll want to stick around for that. So we'll be in the key of E minor here and using the 5 pentatonic positions, also known as the cage system. Now, I've got loads of other videos on pentatonic shapes and a whole PDF guide on my Patreon, but for now, all I want you to do is screenshot this information right here, as we'll refer back to these patterns throughout the video. Now let's take a quick reminder on the guitar. So let's just remind ourselves of the E minor pentatonic scale. Of course, it's just 5 notes: E, G, A, B and D, and then of course we're back to another E then at the 12th fret. And then of course we can use these notes here on the low E string as a starting point to build out our 5 shapes. So just to remind ourselves, starting with the open E, we get the classic first position pentatonic. And then second position, starting on the G. Third position, starting on the A. Fourth position, starting on the B. Fifth position, starting on this D. And then up to the E again, and it's the first position there at the 12th fret. What I hope you're about to see is these boxes can become your path to freedom, not something that will confine you. So let's get into the techniques in the solo, starting with the 1-string approach. Now, this might sound easy just to play on 1 string, but it actually requires a decent amount of fretboard knowledge and test that you really know where the notes are. Now, if you're going to learn just 1 string, I suggest start with the G string because it's kind of in the middle of the guitar and it's going to really help you link up these 5 positions. So then looking at the E minor pentatonic just on the G string, of course we've got the open G and then A at the 2nd fret, B at the 4th, D at the 7th and the root note of E there at the 9th. So that's our scale, like so, and then of course we can repeat that starting at the 12th fret. So all together, something like that. It's not very easy to play like that, but you can immediately see how this cuts right through all the 5 shapes and gives us loads of fluidity. Now in the solo you saw me start with that kind of thing where I'm sliding into that root note of E a couple of times, then sliding up to the 12th fret and giving it a slight bend up on the minor 3rd there. A bit of blues flavour, and this is where you really hear that fluid vocal quality coming in. Then, you know, I did a bit of stuff down here, but then a slide right up to the 14th fret for something like that, where I'm bringing in this extra note at the 15th fret on the B string there with the bend, just because I know that's going to work, but really I'm just targeting this note, this A at the 14th fret. Now you might think coming from down here to up here is a really big distance to travel from the 2nd to the 14th fret, but that's just A to an A, an octave. And if you think about it like on a piano, that's really normal to play across an octave like that. So whilst this feels like a big distance on the guitar neck, musically it's just an octave, it's not that big a difference. So get used to making that kind of move across the neck. Then the second technique I'm using in the solo is a 2-string approach, where I'm just taking a really simple lick across 2 strings. So here I'm targeting this E here, the root note at the 2nd fret of the D string, but using other notes from the pentatonic box below it. So I'm kind of in the 2nd position here, so hammering from 2 to 5 on the A string and then into that root note of E, like so, and now I'm just repeating this lick going up through the pentatonic boxes. So that was kind of it in the second box. Then if we come up to the third box, it's going to be hammer on from 5 to 7 and then hitting the G there at the 5th fret on the D string. So, and then up again, hammer on from 7 to 10 and then hit the A at the 7th fret and then 10 to 12, the B at the 9th fret and then 12 to 14, hit that D at the 12th fret. Now what you'll notice here is we're getting E, G, A, B, D on the D string there as our target notes. So really I'm just working up through the pentatonic scale, but it's a really simple lick. Like so. Really I was just gap filling with another 2-string lick in the first position pentatonic here at the 12th fret, and using the fact that we've got these 2-fret gaps on the D and G strings there, and then what I did is come down to the 3rd position where again we see those exact same 2-fret gaps between the D and G strings, and I can play exactly the same pattern down there, just showing you how using these patterns and just moving them around the boxes can be really effective. And then the third technique we'll look at is playing the same lick but in different octaves. So you saw me doing this, so that's the lick. Pretty standard bluesy lick, and here I'm starting at this D at the 10th fret on the low E string, so this is really coming from the 4th position pentatonic box there. Then what I'm doing though is moving up an octave to this D here at the 12th fret on the D string, so now we're into the 1st position pentatonic box there which starts at the 12th fret. I'm playing that exact same lick, so there we have it. Then we can go up again where we get the 2nd position starting at the 15th fret, but now coming up to the B and high E strings where we start with the D again, that exact same lick. Now I must admit I did vary the middle one very slightly, but really it's the same lick 3 times. Some nice bends on the end as well there. So this is really effective, just taking the same lick and using it across multiple octaves. Now on to the 4th technique, and we're really going to start joining up these positions with some ascending slides. Now the lick looks like this. Just like that. So we're combining here some hammer-ons with slides to make these positions flow fluidly one into the other. And what we're doing is really using our knowledge from earlier where we learn to slide through the pentatonic scale on the G string, and that's what's going to give us this fluidity. So we're going to start on this root note of E here at the 2nd fret on the D string. So this is coming from the 2nd position pentatonic box here. Now on the D string we've got 2 and 5, and on the G string 2 and 4. So these are the notes we're going to be using, and what we're going to do is hammer on 2 to 5 on the D string, but then up to the G string, the 2 to 4 we're going to slide. So it's hammer, slide. Now this slide gives us the fluidity then into the next position, the 3rd position of the pentatonic scale, to start at the 5th fret on the D string, hammer on to 7, and then back to that note at the 4th fret, and then slide up to the 7th on the G string. So it's hammer on the D, slide on the G. So hammer, slide, hammer, slide, hammer, slide. And then I'm just sliding up to the 12th fret there to give me just one last lick to bring us into our final line. But you hear the fluidity there where we're just joining up through all those positions. Then for the 5th technique, we're going to play pretty fast across 3 strings and descend down the neck through the pentatonic boxes like this. Now this lick kicks off in the first position pentatonic shape here at the 12th fret. So we're starting on the high E at the 12th fret, so it's going to be pick and then hammer onto 15 and pull off again, and then down to the 15th fret on the B string. So it's pick, hammer, pull, down the string. This is a group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick, hammer, pull, down. Okay, and then the exact same thing, but now starting at the 12th fret on the B string. Pick, hammer, pull, and then down the string. This time it's going to be 14th on the G. So 2 groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we play those 2 groups of 4 in the first position, and then come down to the next pentatonic position, which is going to be the 5th position, here starting at the 10th fret, and play that exact same pattern, but now adjusting to fit the notes around this next position. So it's going to be 10 on the high E, hammer onto 12 and pull off, and then down to 12 on the B, and then 10 on the B, hammer onto 12 and pull off, and down to 12 on the G. So all together. Now, I won't go through all of the rest of them because you should know the shapes, I guess, but it's exactly the same there in the 4th position and 3rd position, and ending with this root note of E here at the 5th fret of the B string, but with a slide up to the 17th. Now we talked about these octave slides earlier, so just E to E, but it just gives us that extra bit of movement to end. So all together slowly, and just watch as I move down through the boxes.